Oh, the music! Dude, how did they film all this? The plane.
Oh my god, the plane. Oh, young one. Careful. There's always one in there. Yep.
Travels against gravity because pressure.
You don't know.
I know it works.
I stayed up all night, wondering where the sun went. And then it dawned on me.
Wow.
See, we were meant to laugh a little in this episode.
Yeah.
Those
That's
cars,
comedic
man.
relief.
So you're welcome, Ellie. That was the warm-up for her jokes. Hank
This
Williams.
is actually before my time.
Oh, this is from the trailer.
How do you even walk around with that thing?
Please get rid of it.
Hold your horses. I want to see what all the fuss is about.
That's from the game, though, too. Like that exact script, scene, like word by word. Whoa. Whoa.
Is that the same truck from the game? Or different model?
I don't know.
Right?
I mean, dude, these visuals. Dude, what?
That is so disturbing. That looks good.
What am I even eating?
That is 20-year-old Chef Boyardee ravioli.
That guy was good. Why did the Scarecrow get an award?
Because he was outstanding in his field. Go to sleep.
That was so great.
I wonder what woke her up, the smell or the sound?
Yeah, right.
Man. Everything looks awful, man. Oh.
Oh.
Please help!
Are we gonna help him?
No.
Jeez. Oh, man. Set them up. That's probably why they had the trucks there, too. It's the game. It's like the game. The guy just That's what they say.
It's like the game, the way they get closer.
Jeez, man. Oosh.
And we know that he's still in the city.
She's looking for a Henry.
What if I had a doctor?
There's no chance.
He played Tommy in the game.
That's amazing.
Isn't that amazing?
That is so great.
And I recognize the voice. And I think one of you guys said, or I don't know where I saw the comment, but that the Ashley Johnson, who played Ellie, might play Ellie's mom.
Understand? And he won't stop until we stop him.
So I'm guessing this is the Henry we meet in the game, right? Henry and Sam, right?
A what?
Probably, yeah. I don't remember too much well, but...
Again, this is all happening very differently and in a very new way, so I have no clue what this...
Well, these people have clearly taken care of Fedra and are now running this place.
Yeah.
Now, who taught you that?
Fedra school.
Figures. Okay. You put it in your pack. Shoot your damn ass off.
Such a beautiful scene.
What is that?
Nothing good.
Oh, no. Run.
That is not good, my friend.
Dude, what is that?
Where'd you be without me, huh?
By now, Wyoming.
Oh, goodness.
They need to be careful they don't run into that thing.
Oh.
Oh, man.
Jeez, man. It's a lot of stairs.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. 56 years old, you know.
Well, good night.
Man, they had those cozy sleeping bags.
Now they've got lobby pillows.
Did you know diarrhea is hereditary?
What?
Yeah. It runs in your genes.
That is brilliant. Yeah, man. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
Joel!
And that's where now.
See? Part 1.
Man, why do they have to make it like? Man.
Right. Oh,
We're in the past? No.
Yes.
probably.
Oh, yeah, we are. No.
Yeah, I think it's the QZ when they were probably trying to rebel
Mm.
inside of Kansas City.
That's probably when they.
When they first got rid of
Conquered it, yeah.
Fedra. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my gosh, that's horrible.
Man.
Oh my god. Humanity. What is this?
Oh my god, this is horrible.
To show
Oh,
the brokenness. I never saw this in the game.
Where is Henry?
What's to deal with Henry?
When you're done, burn the bodies. It's faster.
Jeez, man.
The way she
Jeez.
talks about it is so, like,
Yeah, it makes it so
haunting.
so
you
haunting.
wouldn't think that tone of voice would be so intimidating.
That's the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, this is the past.
Hmm.
Probably after she killed him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's Joel and Ellie.
Yeah. It's a distraction, maybe. He saw him.
Yeah, you could.
We don't want to hurt you. We want to help you.
Okay.
So we're home, man.
That's just the way he sounds. He has an asshole voice. Joe, tell him he's okay.
Everything is great.
Sensational.
Mm-hmm.
That was great. My heart is... It's
Where'd you
going.
get these?
From Bill. I'm Ellie.
I'm Joel. Look, you ain't eager to kill each other. Let's call this a win-win and move on.
Such a warm guy.
Yeah.
Warm and fuzzy.
Joke book. That's fantastic.
I haven't heard that in a long time.
So he's never been like a violent guy. Dang. So he never killed anyone. I guess
No, I mean,
maybe he
He's...
ratted out her brother. Is what happened.
They're saying they're going to help us escape.
This is so good, man. This show is so sensationally great. So great.
So nervous.
I know.
Not breathing.
Stay hydrated. Nobody pass out.
Get your gun out.
I'm already getting itchy, man. That's like my spider sense. I know something's
A
coming.
blanket if you need.
Oh.
that is the same door, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay. Was this in the game? I'm scared.
Nah,
Not like this.
not
Not
that I remember. No.
Wow.
It's pretty.
It's very bizarre.
Very eerie.
Super eerie. Well, kid likes it. Don't. Oh, yeah. Whoa.
Whoa.
So school.
School underground?
Or what's left of a school.
Yeah.
Endure.
Mm.
Endure. Survive. Yeah, man.
I love the music, dude.
Mm-hmm. Music's fantastic.
Like, I'm gonna ask you a million more times. And he's like,
Sniper. Stupid guy's gonna draw out all the...
Mm-hmm.
Just keep shooting, making a bunch of noise.
It's right there, man.
Oh, right
So
there.
close, man. Shoot.
Oh my gosh.
Come on. Hit someone. Ugh.
Dude.
She's so awful.
Dude.
Got him.
Jeez, man.
Gonna step on out, save us some time.
Dude, she's right there.
I'll come out.
Ah, Henry.
But did you ever stop to think that maybe he was supposed to die?
He's just a kid.
Well, kids die, Henry.
Uh-oh.
What is
Is
that?
he infected?
Why is it falling?
Oh, there is something very big and
Sinkhole?
nasty down there. That is a very bad thing.
Oh god.
Those things are very alive.
Alright, everybody, be on the same team for once.
God.
That is not.
They've just
okay.
been in the ground.
Oh my god.
Oh, you're joking.
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
That's where they've been. Oh my gosh.
It's too much to handle right now.
Oh my gosh.
Dude,
dude.
go, 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 go.
Oh jeez. Dude.
What is that, dude?
Dude, is that a bloater?
That is a bloater.
A bloater?
Yep.
Oh, God, that thing's ugly.
Oh my gosh.
How do you kill that?
Yes, go.
Oh my dude, it's running at him.
Oh, it's like a bull, man.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh. Oh.
No, dude.
Oh my god.
Oh, it just flipped over. It's like acrobatic. Ew.
What's a little girl?
It's like a gymnast, little girl. That's like.
Dude, holy, dude, they just took this whole sequence in the game and took it to another level, dude. Dude,
Joel has such
Ellie
good
is
aim.
Joel is
finessing
the
her way
guardian
through
angel
this.
in the air, dude.
Oh my god.
Oh, these things are so ugly, man.
This is a lot, dude.
Oh my god.
Come on, lady, really?
No.
Ooh, she is done.
Well, she kind of deserved that one.
The irony that it's a kid.
That's
After all this,
what you get
after all
for-
this stuff she said, the irony that it's a kid. Dude, the artistry in that is so haunting.
Oh
They're
my
claiming back
That is,
that
they
land.
were still coming, dude.
They're just claiming back the land that they were.
Is that a motel?
God.
Easier when
Oh my god. The fact that just happened, dude, that is ridiculous. Dude.
Oh, God. Ah, shut up. No. Damn. Mm-mm.
Give me the gun, Henry.
Henry, that wasn't... Come on, man. Oh, shh. You said this was the highest rated episode so far?
Yep.
Yeah, you can see why.
Mm-hmm. What genius.
This show. This show, man.
Oh my god.
I don't know if Neo is the creator of the game yet.
Yeah, and and the director.
I don't know if he ever imagined that this could ever become such a great TV show.
I mean, clearly, and I think the way that the game was made, it was always meant to have a cinematic element, level to it. I mean, that scene still really hit me. It happened a little bit differently. I mean, Sam was obviously, I think, the element with him being deaf and
Younger,
using
too.
ASL. Him being younger just made it even more heartbreaking, and even the change to Henry as a character, really making the heart of the character just about his brother, and more emphasis onto what his life was like before Joel and Ellie meet them. Yeah,
Yeah.
man, just so well done.
Mm-hmm.
Performances of this episode were
Fantastic.
Everyone.
Remarkable.
There's not a single...
Like,
Nothing. No one has a... I know some people had issues with Melanie being Kathleen and all that, but some people just want to hate, man. Some people just want to find, reasons to project their own insecurities, and they probably see themselves in Kathleen and they can't bear it.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, I think that's what happens to a lot of audience members. I think shows like this bring out a lot of the torment of humanity without, and I said this in the last commentary for episode 4, and I'm gonna stick on this because I tend to feel and discover the hopelessness that is coupled with the dependence on only the human factor, the immediate familial circumstance that these characters find themselves in. There's no presence of God or the divine except for the element of divine justice. Mm-hmm. And I know it's written for certain things to come full circle, but such has been the story of humankind.
yeah.
Well, that's just it. Is every different, like I think Craig was saying, everyone, how many people will you kill and burn to protect people you love, and everyone has their own version of what divine justice looks like, and that's what makes it such a broken world. I think, was it you, Jemmy? I think that was saying that another reason why Kathleen was, the way Melanie played her was I don't know, the way she just delivered her lines and what would seem as so sweet. What a world like this could make a person like that, and then how haunting it is to hear such a nice person say certain things that are just absolutely horrible. And you hear the things that she said about, maybe he was meant to die, and how just so much anger that she has. But I think what made as an audience us understand a little bit more and have that empathy, though, is that scene in her old bedroom with her brother.
Yeah. Well, you understand it's hard to... You really find in this world that there really is, there's no, like, bad guy, if you know what I mean. Like, well, even the people who are antagonists in this story also have their reasonings as well. And to see, how much her brother meant to her, even if Henry, was the opposite, like, if they were to switch places, I mean, who knows, they could have been exactly the same. It's just, you make them understand all these different kind of people and how they like received, death of people who were close to them, and what do you do with that loss and that that grief.
Yeah,
It's just geniusly done.
everyone thinks they're right, and everyone's doing what they think they need to do for the ones they love. For her, it's like, I don't care if it's a kid, my brother shouldn't have died for the kid. He was gonna die anyway, so, it's like that ugliness of humanity that you talked about. Like when Joel's daughter dies in the, at the beginning, part of me was relieved to see that she didn't have to grow up in a world like that. And then you see Ellie, who was born into that world, that's all she's known.
Right.
Yeah, when you see Sam die like that and have to worry about those things, like, those are big worries for such a little person.
No, it's
It was
heartbreaking.
heartbreaking, very heartbreaking episode, very emotional.
Something that stays with me is Kathleen's comment about, like, she just deals out judgment, like she's God, like she's the queen of everything. She's standing there yelling to Henry, your brother did you consider maybe he was supposed to die? She clearly didn't consider that maybe her brother was meant to die. And if he was such a great man, and if his parting words were forgive, she had the opportunity to take on the reins of an actual good leader who can balance out justice with fairness. Instead, she became a monster.
And took all of her people out into
Yeah.
the wild, and then they just got...
She
Well, her
became so obsessed with
Yeah, her
and reckless.
recklessness. It's just made it. She brought the demise to her people by herself. Like
Right.
she didn't.
She chased Henry out and Sam, and instead, think about it. If she embraces them and forgives them, and then she's seen by the people, okay, because I think it's Perry was his name. He told her, your brother was a good guy, but he didn't change anything. You did. Great. Okay, so her brother dies. If she's the shaker and the mover, but now if you adapt forgiveness, you can really make some significant change. But no. Instead, she puts everything at stake for the vengeance of her brother, and literally gets everybody killed, and unleashes the infected yet again into Kansas City. When we're talking about what did they say? Almost 15 years of no infected.
15 years.
That's pretty significantly
Pretty terrible.
awesome. If you could keep that, but she didn't focus on what was really anyway.
Well, and she knew it was a threat, and she chose to ignore it because of her own interest. That was the most important, was getting revenge.
Yeah.
And in the end, she didn't deal with something that was more important, which was the safety of all the people she was in charge of. So that's just showing how her pride got in the way of everything else that she wanted to do, because it blinded her from what was in front of her.
Her inability to accept that, to accept her brother's death and not fully allow her to, just grieve his loss and forgive and move on. Because she was so caught up in it, she tried everything in her power to, undo what happened, only making it worse, I guess. It's just... it's the whole actions have consequences things. It's in a very, obviously not as, supernatural way. It reminds me of the genre of, Gothicism, where it kind of sheds light on the darkness of humanity. So it's that kind of irony.
Yeah.
So it reminded me a lot of that in this episode.
Yeah, I think the to add on to what you were saying, Jemmy. I feel like the way that the infected, because obviously later there was literal context to why they came out of nowhere, because they've just been like that sleeping, right? And I feel like there is an artistic symbolism to that, or direct, I don't know, there was so much anger that I think so many characters have boiled up, and in a sense, that sense of justice came back to bite a lot of people. And interesting what Craig said about how no matter how much you try to protect someone, there's that sense of how things just end up happening, how some things are just the way that things are meant to happen. You can't interrupt the natural way that things are supposed to happen. And that's what I felt like this over accumulation, this overwhelming presence of all these infected was just divine justice just taking its, making what needed to happen. And Kathleen had so much anger, and just the way it happened, and even what she said about having, what has faith done to you. She said something along those lines to Henry, so you could clearly tell she's a broken person. And I loved the parallel to what was going on with the infected and all of them just being unleashed on all these people, as well as what was going on emotionally for all those characters. And
also, I think the situation between the two couplings of the brothers, I think it took them outside of themselves, like Joel and Ellie, to be able to see, I think Ellie sees Sam and thinks about, oh, this is probably how Joel, sees me as so innocent and young and wanting you to be free from that reality.
Yeah.
And then Joel looks to the brother Henry oh, this is what it means to truly care for someone and love them. And, it's reminded of that role of his. So I know, Ellie and Joel will never be the same after this episode, for sure. I mean, I know they just said it in the special features, but
you can sense it.
Yeah.
You can sense it. What did you say about the relationship?
No, their relationship was just going to grow stronger over time. I think they're starting to see how much they care about each other, and even that whole part where all the infected infiltrated that whole area. Joel was sniping all those infected as she was going. She has to have huge trust in him to just keep going. And I think she's learning how to fully trust him and take him for who he is. And, and kind of like what they said, how, Joel is becoming aware of how much Ellie is meaning to him, and it's scaring him. So, but in the end, I think it it grows more in their dynamic and relationship with each other.
I
Oh my
love
goodness,
the
yeah.
scene with Sam and Ellie before he passes, like that night scene when they're talking, like that was beautiful. Of course, you add more depth to both characters.
And they changed that part up, right? When, like, because from what I remember in the game, there was like, you'd see them talking and then the camera lowers down to like his leg to find out that he's infected.
Yeah,
But the kid Sam never tells Ellie.
He's
It
actually a
just
little bit
happens.
upset and kind of like brushes her off. So that's another thing
Because Sam is Ellie's age.
yeah, Sam is exactly is
Oh,
older.
So it's
wow.
a massive difference.
It's a
This
massive
is
difference.
A lot more
Yeah.
tragic, a lot more. Ellie gets to experience what Joel feels in a way, in terms, or at least what like it feels to care for somebody that is younger, to look out for somebody. Yeah, and that the sniper sequence is in the game, but I mean, Kathleen and her people coming is not in the game. Neither is that many infected.
Well, it was also not nighttime in the
It
game.
was
It's
not
like,
nighttime,
It's like
yeah.
midday, and the sniper was a thing. I remember, as Joel, you have to go up and do all that. But it's when you get up there that all the infected start coming out. But then when
It was
Kathleen's
not,
people came
yeah.
out, it just the element of surprise and the way that it all happened again, using those intense moments, that violence to further emphasize and underline other emotional triggers and emotional moments. I think Henry even surrendering, like sacrificing, or like even surrendering himself to Kathleen just shows how much he cares about his brother. And I think there's specific things that show Joel over time that Henry is someone that I can trust, and I think that takes a lot for Joel to slowly peel back. And
I mean, he
I
told
think
him
for
about
both of-
Wyoming and like
yeah, I think it's
invited him to stay.
that's what's so sad about it too, is that Henry and Sam are the kind of people that it's just they're hard to find in a world like this nowadays, I imagine. So to go through all that and then to lose them like that is just I will say this episode I think has been my favorite in terms of the progression of not just of course the story and what happens, but I mean what happens is horrible. I'm not saying I liked what happened in the episode,
Yeah.
but just the way that the build up and the tension and the going through the tunnels and yeah, man,
was massively executed.
wonderful
for sure.
episode. So
Yeah, from the page to the screen, and the parallels. That last beat there with Joel, he just made a decision, and he's a man who has a lot of capability to make things go his way. And I mean, Henry even asked him about his daughter. And no, it's not my daughter.
Yeah.
That's not my dad. They deny it with words, but it's too late.
Yeah.
That bond has been made.
I think he really accepted the fact that if anything happens to this girl, he doesn't know what he's going to do with himself. I think kind of seeing that like parallel of if he were to lose Ellie, what would he have done? So it's just that. And obviously, the fact that the older brother had to kill his younger brother because of the virus taking over, like, what do you do? It's just so tragic.
yeah, there was a sense of shock of like what he had just done, and
Yeah.
all of that was just
Thing is, it wasn't also just what he did at that moment. That was the culmination of already having a hard time caring for himself. Henry already was he probably hated himself for all the things he had done, the ratting out for the benefit of his own existence. And then, in the heat of a moment, really, it's something he had to do. The one person he directly killed, he had to do it, and he couldn't bear it anymore. Now he had an emotional climactic moment that gave him an out. It gave him a reason to say, you've done too much, man. Call it. Just turn off the lights.
and also just being able to handle that world. I mean,
Yeah, he was a very
that's all you
scared.
got.
I think his main purpose and main drive was his little brother.
Yeah.
And without him, it's like, okay, well,
No.
now what?
There's nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question about hope for all of us, and you guys can answer in the comments. I would love to hear your answers to this question. What do you think Henry would have done if he knew what Ellie's blood could potentially do? Would he have pulled a trigger on himself? Or would he have dared to maybe live another day?
I don't know, man. I mean,
If you know that there's possible salvation to humanity, and again, a lot of people that watch this know the game and all that, try your very best to not think about that. Put yourself in Henry's shoes.
I think the person
if you
that
knew that
he
there's hope,
would have
maybe
wanted,
there's hope.
I think it would have been too much for him.
Yeah.
Because the person that he could have saved was gone. The only person that he cared for saving is gone.
Yeah.
And so once he just kind of, you know, even if Ellie is the cure, would that have been enough to keep him going? I'm not sure.
I think either way, he would still live with that constant guilt of, you know.
His heart was there with his brother, and it's interesting because I actually read a little bit of an insider article before watching this episode. It kind of went into Henry, Lamar Johnson, the actor, talking about the character and diving in. And he said that as he was developing the character, he had liked to believe that Henry at some point was, you know, was a God-fearing man, he said, and that he would want to be with his brother elsewhere, that he just can't be here by himself. Like, in a world like that, I mean, you think about someone like Joel, who has been there, and Henry is younger than Joel. And, I mean, Joel has become a monster in his own way. Like, these people become just not themselves, and that's what's interesting about what Sam said is, like, you know, am I still in there if... I forgot what he wrote to Ellie about...
if you're a monster, is it still you?
Yeah,
is it still you inside? And that's not just, like, physically sick. Like, there's people that are... You look at Kathleen, you look at Joel, these people that have been around, but they're no longer the person they used to be. And that's another thing that it's interesting, because so many characters, and even in the show, we haven't seen... I mean, today we saw plenty of infected, but there hasn't been nearly as much infected as you would think compared to, like, the game, right? But there's this constant, like, underestimating of understating what the infected can do, or what the force of them is. Like, especially the way that Henry kind of talked about the tunnels, and, you know, kind of undermining, like, what potentially that is. So anyway, I mean, I don't even know what point I'm trying to get at, but it's the sense that there's so much there for the characters, and a lot of the themes and message, like, it goes down to, again, the brokenness of humanity, like you were saying that at the beginning, and the true infection, the true infection of that world is anger, is just vengeance, is brokenness, and that'll continue to play out in a broken world. And I think someone like Henry was probably just so pure of heart that the things he'd done, like you said, were just eating at him. And he's like, if Sam was the only good thing that I was standing for and that was in my life, to just live with yourself, and that for him was probably just too much.
Worse than death.
So, man, it's just, it gets you talking, and it's not just one thing. There's just, that's how you know it's a good show, is that there's... The message isn't just like, oh, it's just one thing, you know? Like, I still am trying to wrap my head around...
It's like each part has 26 stories.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around the fact that there was a child infected. It was very intentional. I don't think that was just like, oh, I had a child. Like, there was not once an infected child in this game. That was very intentional. And you tie it back to what Kathleen said about children and the hope, and you think about the future, and sometimes what, these older people do to protect the younger ones they love, and how even those actions affect them and have consequences. So it's all beautiful. And Craig said something interesting about how Kathleen was ignoring some child looking in her basement. I don't know if they mentioned that, or if that was just more of a symbolism.
No, I think it was the whole... it was symbolism, but it was also the reality that as the leader, she ignored what was going on beneath the surface of the city. She focused so much on the vengeance part that threat after threat, she kept ignoring it, and eventually led people to believe there was no threat. And there is no greater threat than the threat you think does not exist, and it's just waiting for the chance. Just waiting for the chance.
Well, especially the fact that it was a young girl.
Right.
It highlights how the monster has truly consumed her within.
Yep.
And then the infected kid just confirmed it. But already she was being consumed by the monster she was becoming.
Yeah.
And I have to research, because they mentioned it in the behind the scenes about the two guards, and there is a story there, and I can't remember. I have like vague, and I don't want to start talking about it if I don't know fully what that was again, but I know that had
the paper?
An extra meaning.
Ish and Dodi,
something like that. But when you read letters and you walk around, you kind of break down what happened, why those people were gone, and whatever. So anyway, man, dude.
In the next episode, I'm not familiar with that. Like,
there's the whole winter sequence in this part of the story. So how are they gonna get there?
Yeah.
They're definitely. It's gonna be interesting to see how they continue to.
Yeah, because they're establishing it early, right? A little earlier than it did.
Yes, I'm not.
No,
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's
I'm
It
sorry,
is
so looking
already
forward
very
to it,
different.
though.
I think just by what happened in like the backstory they gave us in episode, was it 3 with Bill?
Yes.
That kind of was a ripple effect. Like there's certain things that they just kind of needed to but yeah, we'll see. I think already it's just I
Looking
can't wait
forward
to
to
see
it.
what they keep doing.
Well, the fortress that was Joel is, for now, starting to not be a fortress.
Oh, yes.
She, as in Ellie, is making him softer than he wants to be. I think that's the genius of Pedro and his performance. I think he's giving this character such an arc
Yeah.
where we're going to see the layers peel down. He's going to start caring more, being afraid more because there's just too much to lose now. Then he runs into his little bro, and then it's just going to continue. The humanity is going to continue to just burst through, and then we're going to hit that crescendo, and then he's going to go back to fortress mode. I just see it coming. It's wonderfully written, and he's an amazing actor. To pull that off is so hard. Especially when your reference point is a video game. Like there really isn't any real emotion there, except the one you put on when you're playing yourself.
And thank God this one is one of the best video games out there that are able to capture it already close to cinematic.
Emotion, yeah.
So
I can go on. I need to stop
I'm
talking.
excited for next week. Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. This week, actually, Sunday.
One more for this. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, man. We'll see. We will see where it goes. We'll see how it all plays out.
Yeah.
It's definitely all happened differently in Kansas City the way it happened in the game. So, can't wait to see what else they do.
Man, 3 months.
later.
Dude, wow.
Oh, this actor's awesome, man.
Yeah. What do you know?
Oh, he's been in so much. He's such a great actor.
Why did you shoot him?
The gun's all the way over there.
You got a map. Why you lost?
Must have missed all the street signs in the enormous forest.
Holy.
Oh, goodness.
Are you telling me the truth?
Yeah.
I like her.
Yeah.
Chill in the face of danger.
It's a helpless feeling.
This music is so good.
Can I have some?
No.
What? Just to warm up?
She's so good. It's too quiet.
I know.
It's Narnia.
It's Narnia.
Shots are great. So cold and desolate.
If it wasn't actually snowing, it had to be. Like,
Yeah, they probably had to chase the snow.
Yeah.
Don't ask me. I don't have a clue.
You know, you could have just made something up.
The dialogue between Joel and Ellie is incredible.
Oh,
Shoot.
Well, they just found out.
wow.
Dude. The visuals are insane.
It's kind of reminding me of Lord of the Rings, but
Yeah.
they do those kind of shots with
Yes.
the horses.
Imagine that, seeing all those people.
This reminds me of the game because I was watching some of what this little town was.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. Oh, Jesus, what a feeling.
Man, this place looks just like the
Wow,
game.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they established Jackson, their whole settlement.
Maria is family, actually.
Oh wow.
Oh, congrats.
Congrats.
That was heartwarming.
This place actually works.
Sheep.
Sheep.
Oh my gosh.
So, communism. Nah, it ain't like that.
It is that, literally. This is the commune. We're communists.
I was heading in this direction, so. Really? Goodness of your heart. There's a payment.
Oh, that's a nice cabin. house.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
like the color.
color's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, definitely smart. You would have made a hell of a lawyer.
Tommy, I saw her get bit myself. That was months ago. Months. She's in...
Just sit down for that one.
Yeah.
Listen,
Why are you here?
he knows the area better than I do.
Do you
and-
give a shit about me or not?
Of course I do.
Then what are you so afraid of?
Hmm.
Everybody I have cared for has either died or left me. Everybody except for you. So don't tell me that I'd be safe with somebody else, because the truth is, I would just be more scared.
Man.
What's up?
Oh,
Back
man.
into the wild.
Got food, showers, haircuts, movies, and then they can go.
Yeah.
Sounds like a vacation.
Nice and slow.
You gonna shoot this thing or get it pregnant?
The
He's not-
music.
Yeah, we were cool. Everybody loved contractors.
Those shots, man.
It's beautiful.
Now they're just showing off with cinematography.
Oh my gosh, she's such a trip.
Oh man.
This episode has felt long, man. But it's
Probably gonna
because there's so
end
much.
Yeah, it's probably gonna end on a cliffhanger. Oh, I'm like so nervous as to where they're gonna
Yeah.
finish this.
Butterflies.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Monkeys.
Oh, those look like raiders. If I'm guessing, I don't know what
Yeah.
a raider looks like.
Jeez, man. It's a whole other existence, dude.
Joe!
Oof.
Freaking A. Come on.
This better not end like right now.
Yeah, it's probably going to.
Dang, he was so in it, he didn't feel it until he noticed. Jeez.
Joe, no, shit!
Ugh.
Joe.
That's where it ends.
Ah.
That is a crappy ending.
Man.
Oh my god.
Thoughts?
I didn't think about the parallels of them both losing children with like Maria and Joel until now, that and the last like after the episode thing. But yeah, it's so true. Like she lost a son. Yeah, they're both dealing with it the same. They have that similarity.
Dealing with it differently, but
Dealing with it differently, but going through a similar loss of a child.
Shows how people handle grief differently, like loss.
And they're
Yeah.
both dealing also with like Maria's pregnant now, so she has a child coming, and then Joel has this new child to care for. So
Yeah.
I love the production design of Jackson.
yeah,
so beautiful. Everything is like precise.
Yeah.
it's a little paradise on hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wild. I mean, they definitely have introduced it earlier, but I think it makes sense, like the way that the story's going, and that whole visit to the college is very, very similar to the game. A little
Yeah.
different with the way it ends, but it's also kind
No,
of
it makes yeah.
complete
Yeah.
sense. Yeah,
I was gonna ask, does he get stabbed like that in the game?
He does.
Yeah.
it does a little bit,
But in
more.
It's a little bit more
video
Uncharted.
game like
Yeah,
that.
it's
more video game.
he falls off a cliff and gets impaled by a.
A metal
gotcha.
beam.
Yeah.
But this definitely is a lot more because
It creeps up. The way they did it, I thought was really well done as well, because it creeps up on both of them, on him as well, and I think the way that Ellie receives it, because again, the first Last of Us is very much from Joel's perspective, and following him the whole time. So interesting. And it looks like we're gonna take a break from the story we've been having to.
Which is
Learn
a
more about
crappy
Ellie.
spot to stop us at, to be honest.
Of course they would though, naturally.
Yeah. But I'm glad they did because they started it with that conversation of Joel telling Ellie that you haven't experienced loss like I did. Well, we're about to see that she has. So it's a great place to put it. Very painful and, makes it more, it keeps you hooked. And I'm excited because I know in the Last of Us video game there was a DLC of the way she started out and we never got to play it.
Yeah, the Left Behind.
Yeah.
With Riley and all that. So that's actually the one area I don't know how close that is to the game. I had never played that DLC, that extra bit of it. I'd love to go back and play it, but I love how they're building all that up. I think it's important. Because then again, it makes that scene that's so, what's the word, so iconic from the game. That scene between Joel and Ellie in the bedroom makes it so, a scene that's so iconic in both the game and this show. It's gonna just elevate that, because we've seen Joel's perspective, but we've only heard Ellie talk about it and kind of had an idea. So to step into that, I think will be very, very interesting. And clearly we know how that ends. Clearly Riley doesn't make it from what we hear, from what Marlene told her.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So again, I'm sure it'll be heartbreaking in its own way, but
yeah.
My highlight, the thing I loved about this episode was seeing those scenes between Joel and Tommy, those brother scenes, and
I wonder if the next episode will end kind of like how the Bill and Frank episode ended, where it catches up with at least where we pick off with, where we start off with Ellie, or maybe her meeting Marlene or something like that.
Yeah. Connecting it somehow. It's not just a separate.
Yeah. Like her life up to that moment where she met Joel.
But emotionally, this episode, I mean, the scenes with Joel and Tommy, just all around, it was so great to see these two brothers clash, and they're at such different spots of life. Joel, he's already had a daughter who's passed away, but Tommy is he's
just starting. Yeah.
He's just starting as a dad, and there's certain things like that where there's different perspectives and just so much good and raw tension between the two characters.
It makes me reflect on when Tommy was talking to Joel about the horrible things they did, and I think Joel was probably in a state of anger with the world, and he probably did things that were, not for survival, just simply because he was spiting the whole world for the death of his daughter for so long. And I think Tommy probably needed to distance himself from that because, for him it was a different loss, losing Sarah, whereas for Joel, it was his whole world. So, I could see why Tommy wanted something different. Sadly, it kind of separated them as brothers, but I think Tommy was able to really see Joel and see how he was still struggling with the loss of Sarah and how he's still coping with it and the trauma behind it.
Also, Joel allowing himself, too, to open up because I think, one of the roots of, having panic attacks and stuff like that is because you haven't been able to express it to anybody. And Joel is a person who is very closed off. Like, he barely shares anything with Ellie, and when he does, it's like a miracle. So the fact that he was finally able to just vent it all out to his brother, the one he really trusts the most in this world, I think it was a sense of just letting go finally.
There's these ironies between, like the way that these characters balance each other out. They're opposites, or how alike they are, or characters that you wouldn't think are alike are actually more alike than we initially believe. And I think the vulnerability, it's interesting because even though Pedro Pascal's Joel is still closed off, he does bring this vulnerability to him that you don't see in the game, this weight to him about what's been done. And like you're saying, Mom, that anger that he probably released for those 20 years, is catching up to him. And he just immediately lost Tess too. I mean, yeah, it's been a couple months, but he's still probably there, because
he's still remembering his daughter from 20 years ago.
Yeah, so
so if he just lost Tess, I mean, the fact that he lied to Tommy about her being gone just shows where he's at.
And eventually he told Tommy, but
yeah,
he acted like it was like everything was cool, everything was fine. So
Well, it probably was before Joel met Ellie. I think 20 years was already difficult for him to feel like it had been 20 years since he lost his daughter. I don't know that that ever feels like 20 years ago. Probably always feels like just last night. And the shows like this, like I'm thinking about The Walking Dead. They don't tend to get a lot of critical acclaim, with regards to awards and such. But I really hope that the acting community acknowledges Pedro's work in this. He is sensational. I mean, he's just he's tearing through my soul.
Yeah.
And obviously, because I'm a dad, so there's so much truth to the internal revelations on who Joel is that I can relate to and imagine. It just reminds me of the notion as to why so many men struggle with even to fathom the possibility of becoming a father, because I think most of us men have this ridiculous notion that we're invincible until you hold your first child, and then any other subsequent child reminds you, yeah, no, you're not only not invincible, but your heart, the essence of you, the legacy of you now exists outside of you and will slowly grow up and slip out of your hands. And it's a very scary place to live. And I think it takes courage every day to get up in the morning and to live that way. And I think that's why I couldn't do this without an amazing bride and a relationship with God. If this was just me trying to do this on my own, I don't know who I'd be. It's pretty freaking scary, to be honest. How you deal with all that. So I loved it. This episode has been probably one of my most favorite episodes. The exchanges. I didn't realize that scene with Ellie and him was in the game. Yeah. So it was kind of illuminating to hear that as actors they felt all this pressure. But they were just that was such a raw and
I forgot about it.
It was so
I forgot about it.
Yeah. It was so stripped of any kind of filter. And
I think it's also I mean they both Bella Ramsey too has just been wonderful to watch. She's so Ellie, like she just brings Ellie to the screen. The way that Bella's able to live in those moments is just it's a joy to watch. We're feeling it. We're feeling all of it. Yeah. But yeah, they both. I guess in that scene, I think the reason that scene is so iconic, back to the scene because that's where I was going, was because I think from a writing standpoint, I don't know if Neil and Craig would agree, it is kind of this moment where it is a defining moment, like that dialogue.
It's a climactic moment.
A climactic moment, right?
But a lot of things have built up to it.
Not just plot-wise, but character, emotionally. There's a lot that's riding on that scene, on that moment, on that encounter, And even the way that Tommy goes to pick her up in the morning, and you think, wow, man, this is how it's going to be. Joel's getting the horse ready.
Yeah.
So
I think it's having that forgiveness and belief in himself that he can do it. And it's ironic that when he finally has the energy and the strength and the drive to, fight for the one he loves, he gets stabbed. Yeah. But he did it, he's still working through it. So it's just, showing that you can, that perseverance that he had to really just give himself, that he wasn't allowing himself to have. Yeah. I loved it.
There's a lot I could keep saying.
The music was fantastic.
Yeah, they brought in that.
They brought in a lot of music from the game and just certain renditions of the main theme that are just fantastic. So and the places that they placed them and just the visuals as well. I mean, this show all around is just fantastic. we didn't see any infected this episode, so looks good.
Yeah,
it doesn't need it. Oh my gosh, it's just so well packed with these great human internal struggles. My favorite shot of Joel in this episode was after the argument, goes to the room, and it's all dark, and we see these little vignettes, these like just
visuals of Sarah, yeah.
But they're not concrete, they're these pieces of memories, and as he's going through them, he's kind of in the dark, and then that shot, cinematography where he turns to the light before he turns it off to go to sleep, he's fully in the light. It's almost like he's made a decision to kind of take this out of his own hands and maybe consider the possibility that maybe I should just let Ellie choose what she wants to do.
She didn't even let him finish. She was like, we're going. Let's go. So
I loved how he had to do that in the way that he did, because he woke up to leave, steal a horse and just leave before anybody would notice, and he couldn't. It's like, man, maybe I should just give her a chance to decide, because I think in a way he wanted her to decide to go with him.
He didn't want to convince her,
even if it wasn't her best chance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so much to unpack. It's so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Character rich.
Definitely one of my favorite episodes for sure.
Definitely looks like we won't see any progression for the next episode.
Which sucks.
Until the end, like you said, John.
I wish it was.
But we definitely will see progression and character and emotion, which is what this show's continuing to do. So
yeah, it's a character
should be great.
piece. It is.
Should be great.
You're right. I'm just impatient to see what happens.
And it's also like we know who Joel has lost, but like who is Ellie talking about? What does her journey look like? And
again, that's new territory for us.
And it also adds to yeah, to both sides of the story. So it is exciting.
Yeah. It's gonna be
Man. All right, guys. That was episode 6 of The Last of Us. Thank you for joining us. We hope you guys enjoyed our reaction, and we'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. We have loved to hear what you guys have to say, and your details, things that you notice, either little Easter eggs or nods to different things, or yeah, emotional parallels. We've loved to hear what you guys have to say. So just let us know what stood out to you in this episode, and what has been your favorite episode so far out of this whole thing. And maybe specifically what episode from these 3 has stood out. I think this show is so unique because every episode just continues to build on top of it.
Yeah.
I mean, even like I said, the scene with Henry and Sam and that whole experience affected Joel and their reunion with Tommy. So yeah, we just want to hear and connect with all of you and talk to Last of Us. So meet us in the comments. But besides that, go out there, spread your light, and have a MaJeliv day. We'll see you guys in the next MaJeliv video. Bye.
Bye.